got to me. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and boogie. Don't know me, they look on. I'm being the clouds. Pool full of Henny, I'm drinking a drown.
Hey guys, what's up? It is August the 25th and Wednesday night. Water temperature here on Table Rock Lake at Shell Knobs running about 87 to 89 degrees. It's been a hot day. The air temperature's hot. The water's hot. My wife is hot. Oh, I didn't mean to say that last part, but it's hot. And so anyhow, been a fun day of fishing. I actually fished the Joe Bass tournament this morning and it was hot. We had about 25 boats. It took 16.5 pounds to win it. And we had 11:02, and so fishing I thought was decent, but there was about half the boats had a limit, and this is in the antique division here on Table Rock, and there's some real good sticks in that, so it's pretty tough fishing. Certainly didn't just throttle them, and we sure couldn't catch the quality, but we did some different stuff, and I wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. I mean, the fishing is really changing. Last Wednesday night we had I think about 12.5 pounds and placed, I believe it was 4th, 5th. But what stands out in my mind about last week, we fished Friday night and had an absolute kind of just one of those nights that wasn't our nights. We fished that Friday night tournament out of Campbell Point. We had one keeper. One keeper is all we could muster. And so I was pretty down on it. I mean, we threw jigs, we threw big worms, we fished brush piles, we fished bluffs, we fished bluff ends, we fished channel swings. And I don't know what it was, but it wasn't our night. And we turned right around Saturday. We had a little small club tournament. You know, I went into it just knowing fishing was going to be really tough. And we had about an hour and a half of daylight. I decided that I wanted to drop shot. And so I started with drop shotting. Didn't find a whole lot of grouped up fish. Didn't have time to scout much for grouped up fish. Went to a couple spots that usually has them, and I boated my first keeper within 10 minutes of the tournament starting and thought it'd be okay. And once it got dark, the bite was unbelievable good. So we fished around Shell Knob, and just literally about anything I wanted to throw at them, they would bite. So here's kind of what was going on. We could catch them on brush piles. I had several good quality fish. My big fish was 382. Caught it on a conservation brush pile on the jig. There was nice looking, really kind of a fairly steep bank in the middle of a creek up here that I thought that looks like a spinnerbait bank. And so I've been talking about how the spinnerbait bite should start picking up. And man, was it on like Donkey Kong Saturday night. I mean, I caught a limit of fish in 15-20 minutes on the spinnerbait on that bank. So I took that and thought, well, I'll just move around a little bit and we'll find other banks just like it. I did catch some more, but not as consistently. And I tried some flatter like pea gravel banks because I thought, man, that's where the big blacks will be. And I didn't have hardly any luck on the flatter banks. So I think it just kind of depends. But they are hitting that spinnerbait really good. Probably the best bait right now to throw in your evening, low light conditions. Black spinnerbait, War Eagle makes a good one. I love the Jewel Jolt as well. You want to have a big black nickel Colorado blade on there. In fact, you can use other colors. You can use gold. They even make a bronze. And they are all work. Different nights, sometimes they'll hit one better than the other. But if I was going to give you any advice about how to go out in the low light conditions, I actually caught one this morning about 6:15, right before the sun came up on the black spinnerbait in the Joe Bass, and it weighed 2.8. So it was a nice fish. Some good quality coming off that. But there's still fish to be caught on a big worm. There's still fish to be caught on the jig. We're targeting brush piles and rocks mainly, and definitely some fish to be caught. This morning we threw a lot of shallow stuff. There was actually a pretty good topwater bite for about the first hour. I threw a little Berkeley Chapo in bone color and had quite a few bites on that. I think I was throwing I believe it's called the 90. It's the smaller of the prop baits. And tonight I'm going to throw a buzzbait a little bit, black buzzbait. So I'm going to see if we can still capitalize on that topwater bite. But fishing's tricky in the fall. That, just like I was telling you, I mean, we had, I think I had 13 pounds in the tournament Saturday. My partner that fishes with me fished in a different boat, and so we fished against each other. He had 14 and 1. on Saturday, and the night before we fished together and had about 1.6 pounds. So that just kind of goes to tell you how tournament fishing can go. Sometimes the best made plans end up just failing, and it happens. So don't get discouraged if you go out and don't catch any. You know, the key on anything is consistently fishing and trying to learn from what you did. So you know, we changed kind of areas of the lake is what we did, and definitely found a better bite a little bit up the lake versus going down the lake. But anyhow, man, I hope you get to go fishing this weekend. There is a big tournament. The National Youth Fishing Association tournament is this weekend. It's high schools and juniors, be about 300 boats. JP Sell, one of the best guys you'll find around here, puts this on. And so kids, if you're getting out there, you know, be safe. Make sure and wear that life jacket. That's the rules, and make sure you got one on. But man, go out and have a good time. I hope you can catch them. Drop shotting is still catching fish. We did do quite a bit of drop shotting today, and if you find the right dock, look for those deep docks with a channel near it, something like 50 to 60 feet. All the fish we found on those suspended today were about 25 feet, anywhere from 20 to 25, and we did find a lot of suspended fish, and those fish, you could catch a lot of them. It's just you gotta weed through them to find the keepers. But that's a great way in those youth tournaments to put a limit together, is drop shot, bridge pilings, and deep docks. And so that's a great thing if your young anglers are adept at fishing. You know, I definitely wouldn't bypass fishing brush piles with a shaky head or a jig. You know, let them or big worm, let them get into some of those brush piles, and it'll be a good time. I know there'll be a topwater bite, so especially if you get an early flight this weekend, man, throw a topwater, throw a plopper of some sort. Like I said, I prefer the Berkeley Chapo, but the ploppers are great. Or throw a buzz bait, you know, throw something that's going to be on the top, whatever them kids can be successful at. I love the plopper. I call it a dummy bait because all you got to do is throw it out there and reel it in. There's a certain speed it makes a proper plop, but that's about the only trick to it, is just reeling it at the correct retrieve. And I hope you guys have some luck, man. Kids, if you catch a good one, post it on our in our comments. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, man, it really helps us out if you push that little subscribe button down there and then hit the like button. Appreciate you guys watching. Until next week, get your line in the water and catch some fish. See ya.